Every single time Patrick Beverley fouls in this video, I can upgrade one of his attributes or one of his tendencies. The only exception is I can't upgrade his tendency to foul. That's going to stay the same throughout the video. His peak start age is going to be his current age, and his peak end age will be 41, the oldest possible I can make it. Year 1, he was not an all-star, but by the all-star break, he had already racked up a ton of fouls. So I used the upgrades to max out his mid-range, max out his three-pointer, and upgrade his potential by 5 points. And I upgraded his offensive consistency. By the end of the year, we could see some improvement with him at an 83 overall, but there definitely was still some more room for him to get better. That's why I upgraded his shot tendency, also his steal attribute, and then we went ahead and we got into the playoffs. With Anthony Davis and LeBron James coming off good seasons, 81 DPOY, LeBron was All-NBA second team, I feel like we should have a good chance to win the championship, as we're the second seed against the Denver Nuggets in the first round. We go ahead and we beat them in a gentleman's sweep. In the closeout game, Patrick Beverley was pretty good for us, and he's been pretty good so far in the playoffs, but he fouled some more, so we can give him a small upgrade here to his shot IQ. And then we also see that he actually got an extension from the Lakers to stay here a couple more years. Also, I'd really appreciate if you consider subscribing. I know a lot of YouTubers say this, but if you like the videos, I'd really appreciate if you consider it. Anyways, let's get into the second round matchup against New Orleans. New Orleans is a tough opponent with Zion Williamson on the roster, and we're gonna need a lot from Patrick Beverley in this one if we're gonna win, and he's bringing it. 25 points is pretty good. The series is tied up at 2 apiece, and we were able to tie the series up in a 1-point victory with Patrick Beverley leading the way with 27. But then in the next game, the Pelicans absolutely curb stomped us. We lost by over 30 points, but we came back and forced a game 7 led by LeBron's ridiculous 45-point triple-double. Then we ended up winning in game 7, and I accidentally simulated the next round, but for a quick look at the stats in game 7, there you go, and Patrick Beverley was really good in that Memphis series. Now we're moving on to the NBA Finals, but before we do that, we need some more attribute upgrades. So I upped Patrick Beverley's steal, his speed, and then I also upgraded his hustle because Patrick Beverley's known for his hustle. I want to make sure that attribute is high, and we go ahead and we move on to the finals against the Miami Heat, a 2020 finals rematch where the Miami Heat end up taking the first game, and Patrick Beverley really struggled in that one, going 2 for 11. Then the Heat take game 2, so we've got a pretty much must-win game here. We can't go down 3-0. Patrick Beverley dishes it down to LeBron James, and he's able to get an easy layup. Then Jimmy Butler comes down on the other end, misses, and Bam Adebayo gets an offensive rebound to put the game within a point for the Miami Heat. Jimmy Butler's driving to the rim, and we just have no defense there. He gets an easy layup, but we're able to answer back with a Thomas Bryant layup to put us up 1. Then they've got an easy look from Kyle Lowry, but he misses that one, and Bam Adebayo gets another offensive board. Bron's trying to put us up 1, but he misses. Then Bam Adebayo goes to the line, makes both, and we need a 3 here to tie up the game. LeBron takes a fade and it goes in, but we're still down 1. So now we really need a 3, and we take a tough shot from Lonnie Walker. He misses. AD gets the offensive board out to Bron, and he misses it. So we're down 3-0 in the series. Nobody really played that well in this one. It was overall just a tough loss, and we end up getting swept by the Miami Heat, so they get their revenge from the 2020 playoffs. But Patrick Beverley did get a couple upgrades in that one, and I want to make sure he's getting the ball more and he's shooting it more so that we can see better stats from him. So I upgraded that, and we saw a 7 overall improvement from Patrick Beverley over this past season, so that's really good to see. Our roster's looking solid going into this year, and it looks like we're going to have another good season with LeBron James and Anthony Davis both being named to the All-Star team. Patrick Beverley's having a great year. We're seeing massive improvements in his numbers, and he also fouled some more, so we get even more upgrades. We're going to go ahead and upgrade his ball handling, speed with ball, passing, his passing IQ. We're just going to make sure that he is throwing great passes and also that he is out there taking a lot of shots. This should help his numbers go up a lot. At the end of the season, we're close to 50 wins. LeBron is again All-NBA second team, AD is All-Defensive first team, and Patrick Beverley racked up some more fouls. So we up his touches even even more. We want him being a star on this team at a 90 overall. And now we are going to go ahead and get into the NBA playoffs, where we're facing the Phoenix Suns in round 1. We sweep them. That's easy work. And in the elimination game, Patrick Beverley was solid, and he got some more upgrades. We're making sure he is a defensive menace with those upgrades there. Now we're facing the New Orleans Pelicans in a rematch, and it's tied up once again at 2 apiece. But this time in game 5, they end up absolutely blowing us out by almost 50 points. Then they take game 6, and we're out of there. So we have a finals appearance, but we don't have a ring, and this time we lost, but we got some more upgrades for Beverley, so at least there's that. And the Pelicans end up losing in 7 to the Celtics. LeBron James is still pushing at 39 years old, and Patrick Beverley is a 90 overall. This year in the All-Star game, I was expecting to see Patrick Beverley, but he wasn't able to make it. We still had Bron and AD though, and Patrick Beverley was having a career year, averaging over 20 a game, and he was still out there fouling, so we can make him even better, upgrading his rebound stats this time so that his counting stats looked even better. We're trying to get him to average a triple-double out here. We also upgraded his hustle, his acceleration, his strength. I mean, at this point, he is becoming absolutely insane at a 93 overall, and at the end of the season, we got a couple more upgrades so that we can be even better for the playoffs. We beat the Minnesota Timberwolves in 6 games to start off the series, and Patrick Beverley is a 94, averaging ridiculous numbers. We get a couple more upgrades after that series win, then we beat the Utah Jazz in 4 games. Patrick Beverley is a beast for us right now. I mean, this is looking great. He's the best player on the team, and we're in the conference finals in game 1, and Beverley has a chance to win this game. He's got a ton of points in this one. He pulls up for a mid-range and seals the deal. We go ahead and we take game 1, and then I go ahead and simulate the round, and we get out of there in 6. Patrick Beverley was huge in the closeout game, and we're going to the NBA Finals against the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Cavs have a tough team, especially in 2K, but we end up beating them in a close game 1. Bron was big for us, so was Pat Bev. Then in game 2, we go out there and get yet another win, and in game 3, we had a close one, but we're up 3-0 here as Pat Bev drops 42, and then we get the win and the finals MVP in a series sweep. A couple more upgrades here for Patrick Beverley. At this point, it doesn't even matter. He's so good at a 96 overall. Looking at our rotation for this year, Bron is starting to regress, but we should still have a chance to contend as we open up the season 10-0. We keep up the pace going into the All-Star break. We're almost at 50 wins, and Patrick Beverley is the All-Star captain as he selects LeBron James for his All-Star team. He's putting up career numbers. He's almost averaging a triple-double out there at a 97 overall, and at this point, I'm just upgrading wherever I can. I upgrade the intangibles, and now he is a 99 overall. I don't even have anything to upgrade. I'm upgrading his post hook, and by the end of the year, we are 72-10. Pat Bev is the MVP and the Defensive Player of the Year. What a year for Pat Bev as Darvin Ham gets Coach of the Year, and he is by far the leader of this team with LeBron and AD on it. Now I'm upgrading some defensive tendencies. There really isn't even anything left to upgrade at this point. But we go ahead and we beat the Dallas Mavericks in 6 games. Now we're in round 2 against Memphis, and we get them out of there in 6 as well. Then we sweep the Blazers to go to the NBA Finals once again as Pat Bev wins Western Conference MVP. The numbers are so crazy, I barely have anything left to upgrade. I upgrade his shot contest as we go into the finals against Orlando. He puts up 41 and 20 boards in game 1. We also take game 2 and game 3. It looks like it's going to be a sweep, but Orlando starts to fight back. Ultimately, we get out of there in 6. Pat Bev is the finals MVP as we get yet another ring. As you can see, LeBron's getting worse and so is AD, but Patrick Beverley is still pushing. He is once again the All-Star captain as we get another MVP on his resume and yet another Defensive Player of the Year. What a dominant run. At this point, there isn't really any reason to upgrade him. We're just going to go ahead and let things rock out as we head into another playoff run. It's a close series in the first round against Memphis, but we still get out of there in 6. Then we got OKC see, we get out of there in 6 as well, but we've got yet another close one against Houston. It looked like they were going to beat us for a second there, but we got out of there in 7. Pat Bev is the Western Conference Finals MVP, and we're once again facing the Cleveland Cavaliers in the NBA Finals. They go ahead and they take game 1, and we take game 2. They take game 3, and now they're up 3-1 in the series, and they gentlemen sweep us. But hopefully we can come back once again, as Pat Bev is still putting up big numbers. Although, like I said, LeBron and AD are getting worse. LeBron's pushing 50 at this point. Patrick Beverley continues his routine of being the all-star captain, the MVP, and the defensive player of the year in 2028. It's crazy Bron's still playing in 2028. But we go ahead and we face the Phoenix Suns in the first round, and we're down 3-1. How are we down 3-1 to this team? I don't know, but we got out of there in 7, pulling off the 3-1 comeback, and somehow Sacramento is the 1 seed here, and they beat us in 6. What a shame, as the Cavs capture yet another ring. Sacramento still couldn't get that championship, and Bron and Pat Bev try to retire, but I tell them no, we're going on one more run. We can't go out on an L to Sacramento, so we're running it back one more year with this roster. And Patrick Beverley, he was trying to retire, but now he's the MVP of the league, the DPOY. And this year we've got the San Antonio Spurs in the first round. They're the 7th seed, we're the 2nd seed. This should be an easy one. It's tied it to a piece, but we get out of there in 6. Then we've got the Dallas Mavericks in the next round. We're up 3-0. This was an easy sweep. Now we've got the Kings once again. We can't go out like this. We can't lose to the Kings once again. It's tied up at 2 apiece. We win in game 5. Pat Bev gets a triple-double, and LeBron James is kind of falling off at this point, but he's 44. We'll give him a break as we head to the NBA Finals off another win. We're facing the Magic again. We win game 1, and Pat Bev drops 53 to win that game. We win game 2, and in this one, Patrick Beverley drops a ridiculous triple-double, and that's pretty much going to do it. We end up sweeping them as Patrick Beverley drops a ridiculous triple-double. LeBron fittingly drops 23 points in what should be his final game, and AD's numbers have went down significantly by this point, but it doesn't matter. We get another championship. Pat Bev wins Finals MVP. And looking at the player retirements, we see Patrick Beverley, but where is LeBron? Yeah, LeBron took chasing Kareem to a whole nother level. Here's the roster for this year. We'll see if we can somehow win a ring. Yeah, we don't. We lose. And he's been playing so long, there's a tournament for the number 1 pick at this point. And finally, after 27 years pro, LeBron decides, you know what? I'm done. A ridiculous resume. He is 45 at this point. Absolutely crazy. He dropped over 45,000 points in his NBA career. Absolutely ridiculous. But when looking through the records, I also saw Pat Bev finish 2nd in 3-pointers. His resume is great, especially considering he was only such a high overall for a few years. That's it for the video. Have a great day. Be sure to like and subscribe.